15 November 2020, this is JCTV Zimbabwe, a channel of choice for all your political analysis, and we also touch on social issues, whether in Zimbabwe or outside Zimbabwe. Anything that interests us, we bring it to you with no fear nor favor. And tonight we are looking at the topic that is, that has been spoken quite at length here in South Africa, that will Bushiri be extradited back to South Africa, or he will run away. And to help us dissect and look into this whole issue, welcome everyone that is here. Welcome viewers from Malawi, from Zimbabwe, from wherever you are in the world. Please stay tuned to JCTV Zimbabwe and share this with your friends and family. And this is also simulcast on Gambakwe Media. So today, to help us dissect this whole topic, I'm joined by Pardon Gambakwe, my friend, to see what is happening with Bushiri. Will he be extradited back to South Africa? Pardon Gambakwe, welcome.
Hello, sir. How are you, Mr. Rusike?
Thank you so much. This issue has been hot, for the past 24 hours. What can you tell us? The government of Malawi has since confirmed that he did not travel with Bushiri on that day when the president left South Africa. What more information have you gotten so far concerning the extradition of Shepherd Bushiri, or the way how he traveled to Malawi?
Okay, so Mr. Rusike, this situation is very, very complicated. It's not as simple as many people think. Bushiri is not an ordinary person. He is a very high-profile person. And when he speaks, he has consulted with a lot of people. He's not just talking what is coming from his head. So that is one thing that I want to say before I go to what has happened today. So firstly, the South African government has announced that they are going to be officially approaching the Malawian government so that they can request for Bushiri to be extradited. That is the first thing that has happened. We've also heard that Bushiri left South Africa through Lesotho. So he did not leave from South Africa. And then the third thing is that Bushiri was facing a third charge. So on Friday, Home Affairs approached the High Court in Pretoria, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And they wanted to reinstate charges regarding his permanent residence. And that court case was heard on Friday. So those are the key things that have happened. If that case had been heard by a judge, and the judges determined that Bushiri was illegal in South Africa, yes, they were immediately going to take him and throw him in jail again. That is the agency that made Bushiri leave South Africa on Wednesday, according to what he says, of course.
Okay. Then the ministers and I saw Minister Fikile Mbalula and the Minister of Justice, Mr. Ronald Lamula, he came out and they said that they are going to introduce the SADC protocol, and there are some statutes that are written there. We know that Bushiri is left South Africa. They are saying that he arrived in Malawi on Wednesday. How can that be true? Is that true that he arrived there on Wednesday? Because he had a meeting that was supposed to be scheduled for Saturday here in South Africa, a partners meeting. How come he was now in Malawi on Wednesday?
Okay, I will answer that part first. Then I want to give you a bit more information. To fly from Lesotho to Malawi,
yes,
it's less than 3 hours flight.
Okay.
So Bushiri reported at Midrand police station on Wednesday, I think around 10 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And according to the information that we've got, he did not go home after that.
Oh, okay.
He drove straight to Lesotho. That is what information is there. If you look at the Independent, Sunday Independent, that's what they're saying. Then he bribed some people at the Lesotho border. He was helped by some Home Affairs officials. And then he got into Lesotho. And from Lesotho, someone took him by private jet to Malawi. Right, so it's possible for him to have gone to Malawi on Wednesday. But he could also have gone through a number of other different countries. So he could have gone through Zimbabwe. He could have gone through Zambia. It's possible, all those countries, it's possible that he could have gone there. He could have even gone through any other place. Because you see that he didn't talk Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They only realized that he was missing when he failed to report on Friday. Right, so Bushiri could have done it. It's possible to fly to Malawi in 3 hours. However, I want to go to the issue you have raised, which is the issue of what Lamola in Mbalula said. What they're saying about extraditing Bushiri is neither here nor there. It doesn't make a difference. I want to give you an example. There was a fugitive from Malawi who died this week in Zimbabwe. He was being wanted for cashgate. He was living in South Africa, and the Malawians were trying to get him extradited to Malawi. But the South Africans were not allowing him to be extradited. Because he made representations to them, or he was just not found. We have people like Enoch Kamshinda, who is wanted in Namibia, who is probably here in South Africa or in Zimbabwe. They are not extradited. They are living in SADC, but they've not been taken to any of these countries that want them extradited because they've made representations. So the question that we need to ask is, has Bushiri established that his life is in danger and that he's being persecuted? And I think Bushiri has properly established that he's being persecuted and that his life is in danger. If you look at the things that he did, in 2018, he went to Malawi to report to human rights organizations in Malawi that he was being persecuted in South Africa. And they wrote to the Human Rights Commission, the South Africa Human Rights Commission. And the South Africa Human Rights Commission wrote to the head of IPID. So he's got a track record. He also reported the matter to, I think that is IPID. He reported to IPID. He reported to the National Police Commissioner. He reported to the minister. He reported to a lot of people. And he also reported to the General Inspector of Intelligence. That was between 2017 and 2018. So he has established that he's being persecuted. The 5 police officers that are arresting him, they are doing so out of revenge. He has also established that the justice system in South Africa is unfair to him. They took his jet and they're keeping it when they charged him for different crimes. And he has established that he reported that he was almost killed in Santon, and police are not investigating, they're not updating him. So he has established these key facts that make him a refugee or someone who is fleeing for his life from South Africa.
So does it mean that I would want us to probably look at the president of Malawi, Mr. Lazarus Chakwera, him trying to establish a relationship with President Cyril Ramaphosa. And now this is, what does it mean for his government? Some people are saying this would dent some relations that they tried to establish because of Shepherd Bushiri's case. And there are some, I've read in the media, and some people were saying that the son of Lazarus Chakwera is is a critic of Shepherd Bushiri. What does it mean for Lazarus Chakwera, and what is the relationship between Lazarus Chakwera and Shepherd Bushiri? Because I heard that in the past he once supported Lazarus Chakwera when he was in the opposition. What do you think Lazarus Chakwera will do to make sure that Bushiri is extradited back to South Africa?
Okay, as I said to you in the beginning, it's neither here nor there what Chakwera thinks, what anyone thinks.
Yes.
So the result of, or the end result here is not going to depend on individuals.
Yes.
It's going to depend on Malawians as a whole.
Yes.
What do they think about what is happening to Bushiri? And I think many Malawians think Bushiri is being persecuted. Right. If you listen carefully to what he was saying, he is saying he committed no crime. And he's being persecuted by 5 officers that are investigating him, but that he has also complained against. He has reported to all the authorities in South Africa, and action has not been taken. Instead, they are keeping on adding more and more charges. So tomorrow, according to what he said, he's going to be going to the police. He's also going to be approaching Chakwera himself, and I think he's going to be approaching the government of Malawi to present his case. So that is what he's doing tomorrow. So once he presents his case, there's a process. They are not just going to not listen to him. They are going to follow a process. So what Chakwera and his son think is not the issue here. What are the rules in Malawi if you need to send a citizen to another country? If someone says my life is being threatened and they've reported to human rights organizations, what if they go to court? Can a court in Malawi stop them from extraditing someone whose life is in danger? So those are the issues here at play. It's not simple. It's not just because the South Africans want him back and they think he's guilty, then he must come. It won't work that way.
Okay. Then let's look at what I've been picking up also with people saying that he has violated his bail conditions, and he's making some demands to South Africa that these 5 demands are supposed to be met. Is he in a position to make such demands, yet he has broken his bail conditions? And also, as you have said, that his lawyers are going to make sure that they are going to plead with the court that his bail conditions or his bail is not going to be revoked. Do you think that he's in that position to make demands to the government of South Africa that I want this to be met before I can come there and make my representation? Do you think that he is in such a position to make such calls?
Okay, Bushiri never said he wants to come back to South Africa. He says it's not possible to have a fair trial in South Africa.
Okay.
So
yes.
What he's basically saying is that he's going to subject himself to the law, but under the Malawian justice system. Basically, that's what I see here. He wants to be prosecuted in Malawi under the Malawian system, not in South Africa.
Okay.
So he's going to report tomorrow at the police station. He's still going to be saying, I'm reporting to the police, you know where I am. But because my life is in danger, I can't do this in South Africa.
Okay. But then let us look at his safety issues. This was never presented in court when he was at the magistrate court. At the heads of argument that was presented by his lawyers, nothing of that nature was presented that his life was in danger. Much of the stuff that we heard was that he wanted to be with his family. He's not a flight risk. He's a law-abiding citizen. but nothing was presented about these demands that he is now making about IPID and all of that. What does it mean now that he's saying that he has got a case, he has got cases that is at IPID, and I've seen the IPID, they've confirmed, but they're saying that he was not bringing forth much evidence to the IPID so that they can investigate his case. Do you think that the court is going to listen to that?
Okay, I don't think both sides are being 100% honest. So both IPID and Bushiri, they're not 100% honest.
Yes.
IPID, according to what Bushiri has said, he has lodged a case, he has reported to many different levels. It was not just at IPID.
Yes.
So I don't think it's correct for them to say they did not investigate the case because he was not available. I think what happened was they thought that they had a watertight case and they didn't need to do much.
Okay.
Because if someone reports your police officers to IPID, an investigation must be kicked off whether he is available or not. When he made his report to all these senior level people in South Africa, what was he reporting? It can't just have been nothing. And remember, there is a public outcry against Bushiri here in South Africa.
Yes.
So there is emotion which is involved in this case. Yeah. Because the public in South Africa want Bushiri to be punished. They see a prophet who is prominent and they want him to be cut down to size, especially given that there were those people who died during the stampede.
Yes.
So there is pressure on the police and the intelligence services to do something about Bushiri.
Then let us come. You have mentioned a number of issues here about the people that have not been extradited back to their country using this SADC protocol. And you are saying probably Bushiri will not be extradited back to South Africa because of all these factors that you are bringing to the fore. What does it mean? What is in the Sunday Times? There's mention that the president of the country was very, very angry with the way how things have turned out with Bushiri. What does it mean? Because right now they are labeling South Africa as one of the porous, it's got porous borders, and people are labeling South Africa as a country that is a banana republic. What does it mean for the government of South Africa? And do you think they are not going to act on this? Or as you're saying that probably their hands are tied, do you think they are not going to explore other options to make sure that they bring Bushiri back to South Africa?
Okay. Firstly, it doesn't matter what Ramaphosa thinks. The same way it doesn't matter what Chakwera thinks and his son. Yes. So you see, the problem is the law is the law.
Yes.
If someone can establish that they are a refugee,
yes,
and they are not safe, they will be killed.
Yes.
And they're being persecuted by the law in a certain jurisdiction.
Yes.
There's no way you can just take them and say, we're taking you back.
Yes.
What happens if Bushiri comes back and he's killed? You see, so that is even worse than just leaving him, staying in Malawi and trying to find another way of dealing with the issue. So, indeed, South Africa has porous borders. How many people do you know who cross into South Africa and back into Zimbabwe, escorted by the police and the army? How many cars cross through the Limpopo River into Zimbabwe? And how many people cross into Mozambique and back? Yeah. There's no border. It's just, this country is, they are not concerned about the borders. They are not able to police the borders. So indeed, the borders are porous. But this is not the case. Bushiri is a very wealthy person. So the rules that apply to Bushiri are not the same rules that apply to someone like myself.
Yes.
And then let's go to the issue of other people that are not extradited. Take, for example, Zimbabwe wants to extradite all the G40 people that are here in South Africa.
Yes.
But Zimbabwe, in South Africa, has got an asylum program for Zimbabweans.
Yes.
So, which means anyone who's on asylum here cannot be extradited to Zimbabwe. Similarly, Malawi cannot just take their citizen who is saying, I'm being persecuted, who is showing evidence. His jet has been impounded. And he says this jet was taken because they're persecuting me. 17 million rands, I think, worth of jet, or $17 million. I don't know how much it is. But he's showing that what is happening is not in line with what should be happening. So he has established that he's a refugee.
Yes.
And you are going to start seeing the United Nations Human Rights Commission, because he's already gone through the South African Human Rights Commission. You are going to see the human rights bodies in Malawi, in SADC, everywhere, saying, don't send this man back. He's going to be killed in South Africa.
Maybe let's look at even our case in Zimbabwe. The vice president of MDC Alliance, Mr. Tendai Biti, he once fled to Zambia, I think 2 years ago, and he was extradited back to Harare. Him being a political figure and being somebody who was well known, and he said his life was in danger, but he still was extradited back to Zimbabwe. What does it mean also? Maybe on that question, I would want also you probably to respond to me about, there is a guy who spoke about Bushiri when he was arrested last year, and he said Bushiri owed him some money. He's from Zambia, and he said he was going to make everything possible to make sure that Bushiri pays. Do you think Bushiri is safe in Malawi, where he's saying that he is in his country, looking at some of these enemies that are after him? Do you think Bushiri is safe in Malawi, or he will have to flee to another country so that he is sure that he's totally safe?
Okay, so those are two questions. Let's start with Tendai Biti.
Yes.
Tendai Biti was not extradited. Tendai Biti was kidnapped in Zambia.
Yes.
By Zambian officers working with Zimbabwean officers. That's not an extradition. There was a court order which was saying Tendai Biti should not be taken back to Zimbabwe. But he was taken back to Zimbabwe. They caught him. However, if Tendai Biti had managed to go to the capital city of Zambia and disappeared in Zambia, they were not going to have a formal process of extraditing.
Okay.
So the extradition is a proper process which involves Interpol. So, for example, there's a request for Jonathan Moyo to be extradited to Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe government issued a red notice for Jonathan Moyo to be sent back to Zimbabwe. But Interpol refused to act on that because they knew he was not going to be given a fair trial in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So it's not a simple process of just saying, just because we saw Bushiri walking, then we can just take him and take him to South Africa. It's a legal process, and Bushiri has got the proper number of lawyers. They won't be able to do that. Then let's go to the second question of people who are owed money by Bushiri, whether they will harm him or not. I do not think Bushiri is in danger in Malawi compared to being in South Africa. I think he's more in danger here than in Malawi. However, the problem that Bushiri is going to face is that he's too big to be in Malawi. He's going to face a political problem because once he enters a certain space, he's going to occupy more space than politicians. And it's going to be very difficult for him to manage being in Malawi.
Yes, yes, yes.
The politicians there are going to feel that someone has arrived here who could displace us. And you soon face resistance from the politicians, not from the criminal justice system.
Then let us come to, there's a statement that was said by Bushiri on his public address that his church is going to continue here in South Africa, and he has not touched any of his assets. Do you think that the court in South Africa here has power to forfeiture to any of his assets that are here, or to any of his money or his account? Do they have the power to freeze some of his accounts in order probably to maybe frustrate him, or to make sure that he does not have much, he is not going to keep on probably getting money from his church members that are here in South Africa?
Okay, firstly, I don't believe what Bushiri said. Bushiri has a lot of assets outside of South Africa.
Yes.
If you look at the case of Makamba Busha, which we've been talking about, Bushiri got a lot of money here in South Africa to buy hotels and other assets outside of South Africa. That case resulted in Makamba Busha's bank having their license withdrawn earlier this year. And the amount involved here is close to 500 million rands. So Bushiri has more than enough money outside South Africa. He does not need to withdraw money here. Then I want to remind you that Bushiri is not before the court by himself. He's got 3 co-accused, and then his wife and himself.
Yes.
So the court is still going to proceed with Wheeler Mdolo, his wife, and there's another lady, unfortunately, the name is escaping me. They are going to proceed. And also there's the company.
Yes.
The court case is going to proceed for those 4 who are still available. And a ruling is going to be made for those ones, including their company. If the assets are registered in the name of the company, they can still be attached.
Okay.
So I do not know who is registered, but I suspect that most of these assets were registered in the name of a company. You cannot attach assets from one company to pay debts of another company. I do not think that is possible. So there's a complication there. And as someone who's got many lawyers, Bushiri has thought about all these things. So I do not see this as a legal problem. I see this as something that will need to be negotiated. Or if the Malawian government just decides to do something illegal and grab Bushiri, put him in a jet and drop him in South Africa, that is another way. Or Bushiri can just wake up now, one day, go in a private jet, end up in Dubai, and his problems will be over. There are many people right now. If you look at the Guptas,
yes,
they are being wanted here to answer questions in South Africa, but they're not here. They're in Dubai. They're not, you can't find them.
Yeah.
So the South African government is failing to bring them here to answer their, for whatever accusations they're facing.
There you are, viewers and listeners that are watching here on Gambakwe Media and on JCTV Zimbabwe. We are talking about the extradition process that has already begun. According to the South African government, they've issued a statement that they say that they are in the process of extradition, and they want to make sure that Bushiri comes here and faces his charges that are being leveled against him. Then let us look at, you spoke about the church in Malawi, that Bushiri is going to face a bit of persecution from the politicians because they will feel threatened by him. What about the people that are said, you know, Prophet Boro came out and said that he was being owed, there are people that are being owed by Bushiri, and these guys, they need to recover their money back. Do you think that he's going to honor up and meet up these people or send representatives to meet up these people so that they can recover their money back, because these people have presented their cases before the court. Do you think Bushiri is going to look into that as a church, or maybe through a legal representation?
I think the situation is made very difficult because I don't think Bushiri is ever going to come to South Africa.
Yes.
If Bushiri comes to South Africa, he's going to be locked up first before the trial. His next court date for one of his cases is in March next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's in May.
It means if he comes to South Africa for any reason, they are going to lock him up and they will try him from jail. They're not going to give him bail. That is why you saw that he requested that his bail not be revoked. He wants his government to intervene to ensure that his safety is assured. And he wants the 5 investigating officers to be removed from a case. So basically what he's saying is he does not agree with what is happening in court at the moment. So as far as the court process is concerned, you can forget about that. Then when you go to the fraud, Bushiri's fraud, I think it's 102 million.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, 102 million, or
that's 102 million. That was of the money laundering case. Yes.
Right. That is cheap change to Bushiri. Bushiri has a lot of money. As I said to you, if you look at Makamba Busha, you should Google that case. We have written about it. There is an amount of almost 500 million rands, which went to Bushiri as investments, which Bushiri has not paid back. That money is available to Bushiri to do whatever he wants. His jet, if it is worth $17 million, that is way too much to cover whatever money he's said to have owed here in South Africa. So the fraud part is smaller than what money or what assets are under Bushiri.
Right. There you are, viewers and listeners who are watching here. I'm here having a conversation with Gambakwe Media, friend Pardon Gambakwe. We are looking at the extradition process that is already begun, which we don't know how it will end. But you probably speaking to the people from Malawi, and if you are here watching here, please tell us your thoughts. If you are in Malawi, what are the Malawians saying about this whole issue? Are they happy that Bushiri is back in Malawi, or are they saying something different? You may probably talking to other people who are from Malawi. What are they saying about? Are they saying our citizen is being persecuted? What are they saying? Are they saying that they believe that Bushiri is innocent? What are they saying? Because this is a case that every man in the street is talking about.
Okay, I think we need to separate the street talk from the reality.
Yes.
What is in court and what is in the street. If you remember the video that I made when Bushiri was still in jail, what people say on the street is often wrong. The correct position is that Bushiri has established that he's in danger. He has established that he's being persecuted. And it's very unlikely that he will be let to just come back to South Africa. So people can talk a lot. People can talk on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. That is not what is important. What is important is what the justice system in Malawi is going to decide. Because the South Africans are not the final authority when it comes to this. They are keeping a lot of people here from other countries who are supposed to be just sent back to their countries. For example, the Zimbabwean government wants Sevia Kasukuwere back in Zimbabwe, but they're keeping him here. So what we say on social media does not matter. The decision is going to be made at the government level. It's going to be made in courts. is going to be made by human rights organizations. The game has changed. What was here when Bushiri was locked up, it doesn't matter anymore. The immigration case has fallen away because Bushiri is back in his country. So that case is gone. The fraud and money laundering issues, Bushiri has already established that he's being persecuted. So the starting point has changed. It's no longer the same.
There you have it, viewers and listeners. We are in conversation with Pardon Gambakwe, from Gambakwe Media. We are talking about the case of Shepherd Bushiri and the extradition process that has already begun. If you want to be part of this conversation, if you want to ask a question to Pardon Gambakwe, I've put in the link on the comment section. Just follow that link and you can be part of this conversation if you want to ask any question. You spoke, Pardon, on this case, and you spoke about these four accused, and these individuals. You said that they are going to face the music here in South Africa. What more can you tell us about these four accused that are another woman and another man? Do you think that they've also left the country, or how is their case right now?
Okay, one guy is in jail already.
Yes.
He never got bail. The two ladies, they got bail, and they're two South African ladies. One is married to the guy who was in jail, and the other one is just, I think, someone who was working in this company. She was not a high-level person. So what the judge had said was that if Bushiri was to escape and break his bail, then she was going to order all of them to be put back in jail. So I think we should wait and see tomorrow what happens when the court opens, whether she orders them to come back and be locked up. And I think the next court date is going to be on the 18th, if I'm not mistaken. That is sometime this week. So let's see what happens. But obviously, this whole group has a tendency to run away. If you look at Wheeler, he tried to escape 3 times. They caught him at the airport trying to escape 3 times. Yes. So as far as I'm concerned, the judge is probably going to get rid of these guys and put them in jail, take them from the system.
I obviously welcome Mr. Makore. I think we've lost him. He was here. We wanted to contribute here. I'm seeing someone saying that JCTV Zimbabwe, the volume is very, very low. Apologies, but if you can hear me quite clearly, we are still talking about the case of Shepherd Bushiri and the extradition process that is being spoken of by the South African government. Is there anything that you want to say before I let you go, say, on this case, before we close this program? And as I said to everyone that is watching, if you want to be part of this program, there is the link that is there. If you want to ask Pardon any question, you are free to do so. Just follow the link and you can come straight to us. Is there anything that you want to say as we wrap up this case, this story tonight?
Right, Mr. Rusika, I'd like to thank you very much for hosting me here. You take away my need to set up, and I give all that to you. So I want to thank also the guys who are watching on Gambakwe Media. Unfortunately, we're not able to stream on Facebook, so we're only on YouTube.
Yeah.
What I want to say here, Mr. Rusike, is that Bushiri cannot live in Malawi for economic reasons and for the political reasons. So very soon, Bushiri will have to leave Malawi and go to another country like Dubai, probably Dubai. That is the most likely place for him to end up. Or places like the UK, where there's a lot of Malawians. He can establish another very big church. You know, there's a prophet, I can't remember his name offhand, but there's a very close friend of his who is a prophet who is overseas in the United Kingdom. I think you should try to help me because it's important for us to get this name correct.
Is it not his spiritual father, Hubert Angel?
Yes, there's a guy called Hubert Angel, right? These two are very close.
Yes.
So what I see is Bushiri will have to go and probably best with Hubert Angel. You know that Hubert Angel is not coming into South Africa, right? According to my research, the South African police are looking for Hubert Angel in South Africa. So if he steps into this country, they will probably arrest him. So Bushiri is most likely going to go to the UK if he's allowed to leave, or he's going to go to Dubai. The problem with going to Dubai is he can't run his church from there. I don't think you can set up a ministry and start running your church in Dubai. So he's probably going to be forced to go to the UK. That is the next move that I see Bushiri making. Because if he stays in Malawi, he's going to be forced to go into politics. There's a new government there. They only have a few months since they took over. They are not strong enough to have another powerful figure in the country. Because the moment Bushiri stays in Malawi, he has to go into politics to protect himself, to protect his interests. And there will just be too much pressure for him to do something about the country. So this is where I see Bushiri having to make another move. He's not settling in Malawi, but he's definitely not coming to South Africa. His church, the way it is right now, depends on him being here in South Africa. Because he's not just doing church. He's doing church, he's doing business. So he's now having to reconfigure his whole life. It's no longer business as usual for Bushiri.
That is all that is very, very interesting to hear. But maybe just one more thing before I let you go. Pardon. There is the issue of Timothy Omotoso. He is being tried, you know, about his case, and he is one of the people that probably is synonymous to Shepherd Bushiri in the sense that he has also different diplomatic passports, and he is still here. Do you think that the government of South Africa is going to be more tighter on foreign pastors like the likes of Alf Lukau and this like of Timothy Omotoso and other pastors like Nana Poku and other guys? Do you think the government of South Africa is going to be more stringent on these ones so that they can set an example? I was seeing someone here. Please come back again if you wanted to ask a question. But as I was saying, what do you think the government of South Africa is going to do to these individuals that are here or that are running the church?
Okay, Alf Lukau, my understanding is that he's already left and gone to France. That is what I've heard. Bushiri, you cannot compare Bushiri with anyone else. Bushiri is very big. You can compare Lukau and Bushiri, but I don't think you can compare him with the other guys who are in jail like Omotoso. I think that they're in a completely different league. Once they deal with Bushiri and Lukau, it's basically over. There's no more big pastor from outside who is here. And I think their job will be done, basically. So if you look at Nana, the other guy you mentioned, I don't think he's got even 1,000 people in his church.
Yes.
Bushiri's got 100,000 people who follow him. You see, if you look at Bushiri's YouTube channel,
yes,
he got that gold, that silver thing, that award.
Yes.
People follow Bushiri. They watch his stuff. He's got an organized business around what he does. And the kind of money we're talking about, the private jets, everything, he's in a different class of his own compared to everyone else.
There you have it, viewers and listeners. I keep on saying that we are about to end. There was someone who wanted to ask a question. Do you have any questions there before we close this broadcast? Any question that is that you might want to answer there from your side? I'm just seeing here people are saying that thanks guys for updating us. There's someone who's saying please pray for me. We are not pastors here. Sorry, we don't pray for people. We just people who are here on YouTube, but we don't pray for people. Please, maybe you might have to find someone else. So yeah, somebody saying that actually was deported from Zambia. This is MJ we was talking about. Do you have any questions from your side? Pardon.
No, I think let me end it here. Let's look carefully what happens tomorrow when Bushiri presents himself to the police in Malawi. Yeah. This is going to be a developing story for the next 3 to 6 months. It's not going to be tomorrow, even if they're going to extradite him. He still has to give representations. There's a lot of avenues. His lawyers could still stop this process. It's not like once you are being extradited, you must go. No, it's not. The moment someone leaves your jurisdiction, there is a guy who just came back after 13 years he has run away from South Africa. He came back after 13 years. He came back, he killed someone here, his girlfriend, and he just came back last month.
But you spoke of Dubai, pardon, then, but we know that there is Rusasi Bagina who was extradited from Dubai by the Rwandan officials through Mr. Paul Kagame. Do you think that him going probably to the country like Dubai, is it a safe haven for him, or even going to UK? Don't you think that he's still there is still something that might happen? Because I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here to say, if he is extradited back here in South Africa, what does it mean for him? Do you think that the court process is going to take long for him to be tried, and it's going to be a lot of chaos for him? Let's say he is brought back here to South Africa. What do you see happening?
Okay, if he goes to Dubai, he's using a diplomatic passport of Malawi. So once he gets there, it's a different ballgame. It's no longer like in South Africa where they don't recognize the Malawian diplomatic passport. So if you go to Dubai with a Malawian diplomatic passport, what is their basis for denying you that you're a diplomat? So the question of Bushiri coming to South Africa, at the moment, we need to park it and deal with what is going to happen now, which is tomorrow he's going to go and present himself to the police. He's going to phone Chakwera and they're going to talk. Then there's going to be obviously statements coming out of Malawi. So that is what we need to be looking at now. What are they going to be saying tomorrow? But there is a tendency in South Africa to speak as if Bushiri has been convicted, he's been found guilty, and he's going to be thrown in jail. Courts don't work that way. So the result that comes out of court might end up surprising people.
Thank you so much, my brother, pardon, for coming to the program and giving us more information on what is happening with Shepherd Bushiri. And I really appreciate your time to come and give us these developments and the possibilities and the permutations that we might see play out in the future. Obviously, we are watching this story very closely to find out what is going to happen. All the media, they are talking about this. And it's one of the hottest topics in town and trending here in South Africa. But all the same, I want to say thank you, sir, for coming to the program. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rosike, and I really enjoy coming here on JCTV Zimbabwe. I would like to ask people to subscribe to your YouTube and your Facebook, and also to look at your website. It's very important. We need our media houses to grow, and I think you're doing a great job. You've been covering this issue. You remember, Africa, you are the one person who covered this issue from the beginning, during the days of Elliot. And myself, I was not quite interested in covering these South African prophets, but obviously it's been a very interesting journey. You know also the trouble that we had with Bushiri in our YouTube channel. Bushiri and his people, they shut down our YouTube channel. And I could be angry and fighting Bushiri right now, but I'm trying to be as objective as possible. I do not believe that Bushiri is a perfect human being. I think he had a lot of underhand dealings, but he's getting what was coming to him. But he's not finished. So Bushiri still has a way to go. But if he continues with the way he conducts business, he's going to be totally finished very, very soon. But he's not yet there. He still has a way back. He still can fix himself, but his methods are very, very, sometimes they border the unethical. And for example, this disappearance that he's done now, it has put a lot of people into trouble. So I have personal experience with his methods. So I'm not talking what I don't know here.
Yes. That was Pardon Gambakwe. You should go and subscribe to Gambakwe on YouTube and also on Facebook. It's Gambakwe Media. These are his handles. And also you can go and check out Gambakwe Media on Twitter so that you can get all these updates. Also go to gambakwe.com, www.gambakwe.com. It's a news outlet.